Hey everybody, welcome to Talking Habs. I'm Rick. It's Saturday Hockey Talk. I lost my train of thought there. We're gonna tackle the question that has come back around, I guess, because training camps are approaching, and that is: should the Montreal Canadiens retire Carey Price's number 31 jersey? Oddly, he's not retired yet officially. But I mean, he is for all intents and purposes. But so it's a question that just came up again. I've answered this before a few years ago, I want to say, and I've done a video about it. And I also did a video, I think it was about Toe Blake's number as well. And I had a solution for that, and it's basically the same solution. So we're going to talk about that question of should Carey Price's number 31 jersey be retired and hung up in the rafters of the Bell Center with all the other retired numbers. And also, we should say happy birthday to Carey Price. It was his birthday yesterday. He's 37 years old. And 37 years old. He has I want to say 2 seasons left on that contract. Maybe it's 1. I'm not sure. So anyway, let's see who's here. All righty. Hey there, David. Good to see you out there. It's been a while. Kenny B. Hey, Phil. Wonder Phil is in the chat. And hey, Zachary, how you doing? All right. Good to see you all out there. Listen, if you're out there in the audience and you haven't said hi, say hi. If you have any questions, can I ask them? And we're going to talk about this subject of Carey Price's sweater. As you can see, I got one right there, courtesy of Doug, subscriber. He gave that to me. It's signed. I don't know if you can tell from here, but it is signed. I think. Let me see. On the one, it's kind of sort of facing away, but it is signed. Hey, Matt Greer, good to see you out there. I'm doing good. Bit of a tough day today, but all good. So, as you can tell, I'm having a little trouble getting into this. So I've got a bunch of arguments for my end of it. I'm not telling you yet whether I think it should be retired or not. I know that is it Serge Savard had golf tournament. So on I don't know if you saw the Have Normals podcast, but we showed a picture from there of all the old players and all that. So he was asked this question. Ken Dryden was asked. I don't know how many of them, but I saw those 2 players' answers. Dryden said basically very diplomatic about it and that yes. And Serge Savard, I think, also said yes, he's a very good goalie and blah, 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 and he should get it. So that was their opinions. For the longest time, Montreal, their standard for raising your sweater to the rafters after you retire is Stanley Cup win, and at least one, right? At least one. I don't know of all the players that are retired up there. It's a question I don't know the answer to. Is there anybody up there that has only one and not multiple? And I don't know the answer to that question. So we know Carey Price does not have one. It's not his fault. And I've actually, I did a short. I'm doing shorts now. I did a short of this today where I wrote a limerick poem. So it's a three limerick poem. I guess I don't know if I'm saying it right. Anyway, so if you didn't see that, I'm going to read it to you. And it is basically, should we raise Carey's jersey or what? That's the name of the poem. And I'll read that. And I'm hoping that you guys will give me some. We can debate this. I don't know how everybody feels. Everybody out there can let me know how they feel about that, about Carey Price. Should his sweater be retired? I'm not saying this year, and I don't know if the question came up that it should be done this year, because I do think the player actually has to retire officially for that to happen, and so it can't happen this year. Anyway, what do you guys think? And then we'll go from there. How's that? We're getting to the we're getting near the end of our summer schedule, and I'm just not used to not doing too many live streams, in a week. We were pretty busy at the beginning of the summer, or I guess in the spring, and so anyways, that's coming to an end. This is the last 2-week period of the summer schedule, so I'm looking forward to that, as training camps are set to open somewhere. I don't know exactly what the date is. I want to say September 13th, and I don't know why. So it's about a month away from training camps opening up. So, there's going to be some of those preseason videos that I do. Going to predict the points for the players. I'm going to predict, we're going to do a season preview. Those kind of videos are coming up. And we'll go back to a once a week schedule for all the podcasts. So that's something. And as the season starts, this show actually probably goes back into the closet till the summer, till the next spring, because Habs play mostly every Saturday. So, all right. A bunch of people joined in. I hope there's some new faces out there. I did the shorts. I'm doing these things in promotion of the shows on the channels. So if you are into looking at shorts on YouTube, you should be seeing my stuff more often when something happens. Okay, where was I? Gadon, hey Gadon. And Phil says, Superman does good. You are doing well, old man. Oh, are you comparing me with Superman? Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Matt says, I agree, honor him, and definitely one day give him a job teaching our goalies, but no, we can't retire his number. Matt says, okay, so Matt's giving away a little bit of I think Matt probably saw my short. All right, so this is a theory of mine, because I haven't seen anybody else come up with this, and I came up with this when I did the Toe Blake video, because Toe Blake hasn't had his number retired either. Steve Shutt hasn't had his number retired. Jacques Lemaire hasn't had his number retired. And that is to honor the name on the back of the jersey. So instead of, you put it up there, the number's not retired, but the number 31 with Carey Price on the back, that's up there in honor. And I think, even if they do win cups soon, and then these players down the road will get their jerseys retired, like Suzuki, those kind of guys, I don't think you should retire numbers. There's so many bloody numbers for the Habs retired. You're going to run out of numbers, right? And there's guys that need to have their numbers retired. So instead of doing that, put them up there in honor of the name on the back, and I think that's what they should do. I don't know if they're going to take my suggestion. They haven't yet. But anyway, so we'll talk about it. But here, give me your opinion. Should they do it or should they not? Has he done enough and met the requirements to have his number retired and lifted to the rafters at the Bell Center? And by the way, this has nothing to do with Hall of Fame, because in my mind, without a doubt, Carey Price is a Hall of Famer. But it has nothing to do with Hall of Fame. Should he make the Hall of Fame? We're not talking about that. All right. I'm going to get through these questions or these comments. Zachary's very excited about a hockey season. I'm getting there. No, I'm very excited as well, to be honest. As a Leafs fan, Zachary is a Leafs fan. I think you guys should be as well. Is that what you're talking about? You didn't finish the. I don't know why, as a Leafs fan, you think we should, but yeah, I think we should. With all the changes on your team, Zachary, I always make fun of you guys kind of, having too much enthusiasm. My dog gonna bark. There may be some reason for you guys to have some enthusiasm this year, like legit in my mind. But we'll see how that works out. Hang on a second. Not going to listen to me, but Phil says, should he? Who cares? If any goalie tries to wear number 31, who won't think of Price. It would be weird. Go ahead and retire it. Can't wait for cups all the time with 30 plus teams with more coming. Okay, that was a bit of a word salad, but I'll take that. I think what he's saying is he doesn't really care either way. Right? Doesn't matter to Phil. BL. If the standard is going to change, he's the guy you change it for. That's an interesting comment, because it was pointed out, I believe by Sarah Savard actually, that it kind of depends on the organizational standards at the time, right? In his time when he was GM, it wasn't that, they weren't doing that. It's a new management group, right? So you got Hughes, Gordon, and Jeff Molson now. All three of those guys going to make that decision. They might say that, it's a more modern day. We're going to make a little bit of a change. Hey, that's fine with me. I don't mind that at all. I don't. But I still say if you do that and you keep retiring numbers, we're going to be in 3 digits, especially here in Montreal. We've got so many. Yeah, a lot of teams, they can retire a bunch of numbers. Montreal, it's going to be difficult. So that's something, to look at. I don't know if you can hear, but dark out, but kids out there playing. They're going back to school soon, so I don't blame them. JJ Fed, I'd be open to Price getting Jersey retired by the club. He was the best of his generation. He was. I mean, I've said this many times. I said it in the short video. In my opinion, he is the best goalie of his generation. It's arguable. So arguably, and you can make arguments for other goalies. I don't think he's so far and away above all the other goalies. Some of them were, but in my opinion, the best goalie of his generation. Definitely technically and acrobatically, you know what I mean? I think. So that's a good point. You can't wait for my rants. I will see. Maybe there won't be anything to rant about. I'm sure there will be. Hey, David, good to see you out there, buddy. It's been a while. He's Dr. Price. He's Dr. Price now. Oh, but it's an honor, it's an honorable thing. I don't think he's really Dr. Price. But yeah, that's fine. I don't think I'm calling him Dr. Price though. Derek, sadly, he is a little shy of the precedence that has been set. It's due to the management that was in place of Carey's time in Montreal. Yeah, it's due. I'm gonna it's up to the management that's here now, right? They could decide that, we're going to be a little more modern in that thinking. I still don't think they should do that. So to put it out there, no, I don't think Carey Price, according to the standards that have been set, should have his number retired. And I don't think any player anymore should have his number retired. I think they should do a new thing called honoring the number or the name. It's not the number. Honor the name on the back. And I think that's what they should go to. So let's get that out there. I don't think he's done enough unless they change the standard. He hasn't met the standard. You could say it wasn't his fault. It was a shitty team most of the time in front of him and all that. And it doesn't really matter. His time was when it was. As every other player up until then, their time was when it was. Just like you shouldn't be saying about Ken Dryden that, it was the team in front of him, because it wasn't only the team in front of him. And it's the same thing here. Carey Price put that team on his back and tried to get them there, and he couldn't. But then you could look at a Patrick Roy, who won 2 cups here in Montreal with not the best team in the league, not even close. And he literally put them on his back and took them there. Carey didn't do that. So you can argue it a bunch of different ways. That's how I'm arguing it. Counter me on that. Come at me, guys. I've got more arguments here, though. I'll go through them. Let's see. Where was I? I thought Hockey Hall of Fame was more prestigious. Not really. When you look at some of the players that are in there now, I think Carey Price earned a Hockey Hall of Fame. Hang on. I yelled at her a little bit. She's not going to listen to me anyway. I don't know. I think he's a Hockey Hall of Famer. I definitely do. But by the standards set for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I'm not talking about any other team. For the standards set by the Montreal Canadiens, whose standards are a little bit different than everybody else's, he doesn't meet the requirements. You have to change the standards to do it, which is fine by me. If they do that, that's fine. But I still don't think they should retire any more numbers because there's so many numbers retired. But then again, to counter that, especially with Carey Price's number, as I think Phil mentioned earlier, who's going to want to wear that number and be a goalie? Nobody. I don't think you want to wear 31 for a little while, right? For the next little while. You don't want to wear 31 and be a goalie here in Montreal. It's, so could they retire it and still be fine? Yeah. They wouldn't skip a beat, but I think at some point you still have to stop. I mean, take Steve Shutt, for instance, right? Number 22. I think we've got a 22 up. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. You retire his number. Cole Caulfield's wearing it. Does Cole Caulfield change his number? Maybe. I don't know. Phil says he likes to make beliefas. I imagine that's believers. For Price, just open up an extra or expanded player assistance focusing on whatever he was dealing with, and maybe Indigenous people in Montreal and Anaheim Lake or whatever. Okay, what is this about now? Oh, we know what he was dealing with. I'm not going to put the maybe more. It was booze. He's admitted to it. That's what it was. He had trouble with booze. I'm not going to put the maybe more. No, I'm not doing that. I'll give him the respect of not doing that. If it's Dr. Jill Biden, it's got to be Dr. Carey Price. Why is that? Dr. Jill Biden is a doctor of education. There is a doctorate of education, is there not? Carey Price is an honorable thing. Jill Biden is not an honorable doctorate of education. Am I correct? Do I have that wrong? And I'll tell you this. We're not going to shit on the Bidens here. Okay, please? Doing pretty good, Rick. Oh, that's David. Sorry. Doing pretty good. Awesome to hear. Doing fantastic. I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. Getting older. That's all I can say. Joe, I would just retire his glove and goalie pads, Rick. Yeah, you can't do that. That's Dr. Ken Dryden to you, plebs. Doesn't he have one of those things? Maybe he does. Yeah, see, that's an honorary doctorate. You don't call them doctor. If you studied for a degree and got a doctorate then you get to be called doctor. Hey, David, nice to see you out there. Gallagher wore 11 to help clean the stench of Gomez from it. It should have been honorarily retired for Koivu, 10-year captain, and the cancer thing. Again, I love Sagu Koivu. Sagu Koivu didn't do what he didn't qualify. He doesn't qualify by the standards set, and especially at his time when, he doesn't get that. Now, if they change their standards, you can bring Koivu in and then retire. Yeah, sure. Again, that's another number down, though. Jacques Lemaire won so many cups and still no retired jersey. I'm going to give you something about that, as a matter of fact. So, We'll start with Steve Shutt. Steve Shutt, 5 cups, 420 goals in 900 games. Just great numbers. And I believe in the playoffs, 98 points in 99 games for Shutt, something like that. Jacques Lemaire, 8 cups for Jacques Lemaire. And almost a point-a-game player through his career in the regular season, and the same thing in the playoffs. And that guy didn't get his jersey retired. So, yeah, I don't see how Carey Price or Saku Koivu would get that, and then To Blake, who won Stanley Cups, also. To Blake hasn't had his number retired. To me, deserving of that. I'm sure there's other players, and there's how many Habs players have Stanley Cups, and don't have their, a lot. So I don't want to disrespect Carey Price, because y'all know I love Carey Price. Got shirt on the wall, but retiring his number, he hasn't unfortunately earned it. Price had trouble with social things, if I remember the article, and he turned to booze. There are always underlying causes. Causes? Okay, but you said, let's go back. Booze and maybe something else, that's not a cause. The booze, and say if it was drugs, are not the causation. They're what he used. It's not the causation, though. Causation was the stress and all that kind of stuff. Doctor is for physicians, not doctorates of nothing. No, that's not true, Phil. What are you talking about? Are you seriously telling me that? I know that's not true at all. You can be called doctor, and you're a doctor of, and it's not medicine. Okay? There's doctorates of, and I believe education is one of them. But there's different kinds of doctors. I mean, listen, nobody calls for a veterinarian either when they, but a veterinarian's a doctor. Let's see. Ring of Honor. Well, Ring of Honor is what they have. That's an actual thing there. It's all around the Bell Center, from what I understand. I think that's a little different, but you can make a tie-in maybe to that. But they have to honor the name on the back of the sweater. They got to stop retiring numbers. Let's see. Then we'll have to retire all the numbers and start using fractions. No, we'll have to go into 3-digit numbers. We'll have a lot of players with 3-digit numbers, man. And then, I mean, there's going to be players that are playing now that would have to have their, change numbers because somebody with that number got their number retired or should or whatever. If you don't want 3-digit numbers, got to stop retiring and got to start honoring. Usually humans don't call out for vets for themselves. And let's not get into semantics now. We'll use Roman numerals. There you go. They're different. I mean, it's still, 31. But just imagine doing it in Roman numerals. Jesus. Joe would go for decimals. So instead of like 31, it'd be 31.1, 31.2 every time it's used. 31.3, 31.4. Is that what we're talking about? What else do I got? We're going to do the poem soon. Okay, what else I got here for my argument? I went over them all. I think I went through I can't believe I did that. I went through all of it. Oh, one good point is probably in almost any other NHL city, probably his number would get retired, right? But just not in Montreal. There's a match of sports ball. It's probably baseball somewhere or foot. What day are we? Football? No, it's not football. It's got maybe baseball, soccer. It would be nice if they give Demidov 99. They can't give him 99. 99 is not allowed to be given to anybody else after Gretzky retired. So no 99. Demidov's lucky number, the number he'd want, I would think, is number 11. He says that's his lucky number. Hey, Derek, they should get algebra. We can't get sponsors for algebra, but combine hockey and algebra. Is it algebra? I guess so. Let's see. BL starting in goal tonight for the Habs, wearing jersey number 127, Jacob Fowler. Imagine 127. There is no 99 in the NHL. And as far as in hockey, probably not. I don't know about other leagues and stuff like that, but no in the NHL. It's kind of famous. When Gretzky retired, wasn't Bettman there? And he said no other team will have a player that wears number 99 ever again in the NHL. Didn't that something like that to that effect? The counter argument is number 20. Yeah, well, we talked about that already. By the way, hey, Shislin. Demidov's wearing 91 right now with SKA. But I don't know if that's, would he prefer that? But sure, he can wear 91 when he gets here. He might wear that. And Joe's right. It would be 99.9. That's the new 99. Yeah, but you don't want the fancy math on the back of the sweaters, though. That's the thing. Imagine the announcers have to do like a little math equation just to figure out what the player is. How long would it take to do play-by-play? It would be ridiculous. What's this about the southern end of Montreal? I don't get that, Phil. What are you talking about, the southern end of Montreal? The southern end of Montreal, the ass end of Montreal. Yeah, we'll have to figure out pi. Yeah. Or that could be a player's number, pi. How we have to do simple math in order to claim McDonald's and Tim Hortons freebies. Yeah, but I mean, simple math is easy. I mean, just adding, subtracting, multiplying, that's not hard. Yes, Gary Bunger was there. So I'm right. He because I remember him saying it in a certain way. It's like kind of What do they call that? Iconic? Pi squared would be between 9 and 10. So got 9. Pi squared. 10. Can you imagine? I can hear that. Yeah, what kind of crazy world do we live in if that happened? It's simulate. I can see it in the simulation. I can see it. Can't be crazier than what's going on in the world anyway, right? PI? No. Pi. Don't you know pi? PI. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. That could be PI. That could be someone's name. Or just put Magnum in front of it. All right. This is what I'm going to do for y'all. If you haven't seen the short I did today, and I don't know if you guys watch shorts at all. I don't in general, but we decided we're going to, when stuff happens, news and stuff. So for the 2 channels, we're going to start doing these shorts and like pointing the audience to the, our podcasts or the different shows. So because somebody has to lead everybody, I'm the first one to start doing it, of course. So yeah, I've gotten like 6 of them out there now. Very easy to do. I like doing shorts actually a lot now. So you look for those. In the short today, though, what I did was I wrote this limerick thing that has to fit in 60 seconds, so it's short. So what I did was the camera starts and I lift Carey Price's shirt and hang it on something. So that's what you're looking at, and I do the limerick, and that's it. So that's the whole video. I'm going to read you the limerick just in case you didn't see the short, and because I want people to hear it. All right? Everybody ready? All right. 27 people in here. I honestly, with 27 people in the room, that's about double what I usually get. I think that advertising, because I've done three shorts pointed at this show, I think it's working. Anyway, here's the limerick. It's called, Should We Raise Carey's Jersey or What? There once was a Habs goalie named Price, the best goalie of his generation. Nice. He would have won a Stanley Cup or 3 if Kreider hadn't taken out his knee, and now his contract is way overpriced. Should his jersey be retired and raised up, even though he didn't win a Stanley Cup? A career 251 and 917, one of the best I've ever seen. 15 years, 361 wins. Is that enough? Tonight on Saturday Hockey Talk, every Saturday night at 8 o'clock. It's your opinion I seek. So I ask you this week, should we raise Carey's jersey or what? There you go. So I'm still seeking. Well, if you're here and haven't been part of the conversation, get involved. What do you think? Should Carey Price's number 31 jersey be raised and retired? Raised to the rafters and retired. It's hard to do because he's not retired officially, and he won't be retired till contract is done. So this, I imagine, when they're talking about it now, it's for a year or 2 down the road, right? So, but should they do that? Where was I last? Tony, you're right. I saw that too, that Demidov is wearing number 91 with SKA. I imagine somebody's got his number 11 that he was wearing last year with the MLH club. Okay, last one. Who wore it? Number 91. Sean Monahan last year. Yeah, Monahan. But he's not coming back, so 91's available. And besides, Demidov's not here next year, so got 1 season. Players' initials, first and last. For, whoop, did I miss something over? Okay. 11 players' names start with J. Random, but okay. Thank you, Tony. It's something I haven't done in a while. At least I haven't lost my touch, because that's what I read there. When I thought of doing the video or the short, I started with the poem. By the time I was done and it was finished, it was less than a half hour. This took me about 15 minutes maybe to write. I haven't written anything in a while, and it's something I want to get back to. I don't know what's up with me with that, but I'll get back to it. Okay, why are we doing these initials? Like, your name is Ghislaine Laframboise. Easy, I can tell you your initials are GL. I don't know what you're doing. Renegade Man should be, but problem is he never won a cup. Yes, this is what we talked about. But that has been the standard. But with the new management, it is possible. And Serge Savard said this when he was asked at his tournament about this. It all depends on the standards of the management at the time. So they can change the standards. But up till now, the standard has been at least one cup. Not just one, but at least one. But I think from everything I've been reading and hearing from people, everyone does believe or feels that if you had one cup, it wouldn't even be like you wouldn't have to ask. Yes. So he wouldn't need multiples. But I don't think anybody up in the rafters at the Bell Center has less than two. I don't think. So I don't think anybody is up there with just one. So, yeah, this is a problem for Saku Koivu, for Carey Price. This is a problem to get them up there like that. So you either have to change the standard or change the definition of what you're doing in raising the sweater. And to me, change it to honoring the player, not retiring the number. Raise it up. Carey Price, he's up there, but that number's not retired. And honestly, for me, this might get flack. All the numbers up there, except a few, I would do the same thing with, and say they're all honored, and only a few are retired. Number 4, number 9, number 10, 16. Off the top of my head, those are 4 off the top of my head that I think should be retired without a doubt. There could be some more. I'm just not thinking quick enough. But yeah, I think honoring is the way to go. It allows you to use the numbers. You don't have to use ridiculously high numbers or 3-digit numbers. I would consider 33, but I don't think 33 holds as much as 4, 9, 10, and 16. I go even, we'll go with that. 16, Henri Richard, most cup wins in history. Number 9, obviously, the Rocket. 10, Guy Lafleur. To me, in my opinion, the best Hab ever to play. The best Hab to ever lace up skates. And then number 4 is Jean Beliveau. And, you have to, of course. Other than that, you can make arguments for other people, but I just think, you limit that. And everybody else, it's honored. Derek, I think everybody, if we did, you have to be brutal is what I guess I want to say. Yeah, 19, 18, I agree. They definitely deserve to be where they are, but if you're changing things, I don't know if they make the cut for that. Although I look at Larry's and I got to go, I want to add Larry's into that. Because I think, Larry, you're right. 19 probably goes there too. Because he did some things nobody else is going to do. 17? Okay, but tell me who's number 17, because 17 is still a number that's used. You're going to say, I know what you're going to say. I'm blanking on his name. God damn it. The guy in Edmonton that we traded over there. Kulak. You're going to say Kulak, right? JB, Jean Beliveau has more? No. He may have the same number. He doesn't have more. Nobody has more than Henri Richard, and I believe Beliveau has 5, 10. Same as Yvan Cornway with 10. 17 was Murray Wilson. Murray Wilson wouldn't get it anyway, and he screwed up his name with the Habs, with what happened with the radio station and a girl and all that stuff. So Murray Wilson, I don't think is going to get anything. I don't think he deserves it anyway, but that's beside the point. Jean Beliveau has 11, so then Beliveau. I already got Beliveau in there anyway, so. Okay, but see, Beliveau has 10 as a player. I'm telling you, Henri Richard has the most championships of one player, I think, in any sport, but in hockey, it's without a doubt. Well, Phil, you better research it first. I'm on here doing this. You have time to look that up. And besides, number 4 was in my list to keep retired, so I don't know what your argument is at all. Stan the Man, just maybe different color. You know, white is for retired. Red are all honored. And I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. I would love it if the Habs would call me up and go, so what is this idea of yours? Like, I would love that, but that's not going to happen. There's just as my man, number 4, Beliveau, has 10 cups as a player and 7 as a VP of or as an executive. But the argument of what I had Beliveau in there, stop arguing about Beliveau. There's the rant. There, Tony got his rant. I'm not ranting. I'm really not. That's not a rant. Henri Richard got 11 cups as a player, but retired after. Yeah, he didn't have any more after that, of course. But he had the most Stanley Cup rings of any hockey player, and I maybe of any professional athlete to have that championships. No, it was CTE. What Henri Richard was CTE. That's what caused the Alzheimer's. From what I remember, after they did the autopsy, it was CTE. From what I remember. Red retired, white honored. Okay, semantics, Derek. Though I mean, I'm not going to argue that. You know. I claimed Henri has most cups. He does. You prove me wrong. We all know that Henri Richard was a leap year baby. Yes, we know that. For me, iconic for me, Derek, is white. I grew up white jerseys at home every Saturday night, and I'd say 9 out of 10 Saturday nights they were at home in white. And to me, it's white. And by the way, Phil says that I was wrong about Henri Richard having the most Stanley Cups of all NHL players. Somebody want to correct him on that, please? Someone want to stick up for me and correct him on that one? The 60s was red, so you're just saying that you're older than me, and for you it was red, but for me it was white. I'm not sure when they changed it, but by the time I was watching, it was white. And I really wish they'd go back. But Derek, it's not that he has 11. 11 is the most. No other player, not just Habs, no other player has 11 Stanley Cups as a player. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong, but when I'm not wrong, I don't admit I'm wrong because I'm not. It's a circle that you just go around. All right, so if you're here and you're not talking to me, why are you not talking to me? I don't get it. Anyways, if you're here, you haven't said hi. If you can, because some people can't. If you're not logged into your YouTube, you cannot chat here, and I get that. And then you can't say hi. But if you can do that, please say hi and let us know you're here. Stan the Man, you just reminded me of Ed McMahon on the Carson show when he would say, "You are correct, sir," and that just reminded me of that, and I don't know why. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. I love adulation, so yeah, I always appreciate adulation. I'm just joking, but I appreciate that. Justin, hey Justin, how you doing? Good to see you out there, man. So we are talking. Hey, by the way, we can talk about a different subject if we've talked this out, because we can only talk this so much. Anything else you want to talk about? If you want to keep talking about this, I'm good for that. But anything you might have seen out there, you want to know about, if I can help, ask. Or you want to talk about something else in particular, hey, we've got, probably at least 13 minutes. I always go at least an hour, but that's what she said. But I could go longer. Kent needs to turn into Superman and get us one more top six. Kent is Superman. And listen, you know what? It's not done yet. I would think I don't think it's super important this year. So I'll say that. I think Joshua Roy is there because I think I know where you're going with that. A winger, kind of a placeholder for Demidov, because I think when Demidov hits here, he's not playing first line first season. You put him in second line wing to start. He may pull off a trade yet. I don't think they're going to sign anybody. Trades could happen. We're still about a month away from camp. So, yeah, but I mean, come on. Our GM, this guy is, in my opinion, and I may be a little biased, Kent Hughes is the best GM in the league. And if he's not, he's right there with whoever else you might think is the best. You know? And until he makes decisions and moves or whatever to say differently, that's my opinion. Hey, Derek, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Just I was thinking about AHL players ready to move with the Montreal Canadiens this year. Does Montreal have these players, and will they make a difference? Well, Joshua Roy, right? If that's what you're talking about, Joshua Roy, I think he makes the team to start. Now you got guys like Beck, Florian Jacki, Reinbacher, Mailloux. These guys are in the AHL. Will any of them make the team out of camp? Don't know. My opinion is, from what I'm reading and everything, Mailloux actually has the best chance of those four guys I mentioned. No, okay. Joshua Roy, I think, makes it, right? Mailloux is the next one. I think Mailloux has a chance. From what I'm reading and hearing, a lot of people who know better than I do seem to think that if he has a really solid camp, he could make the cut out of camp and start with the team. I think Reinbacher is slated to play as much of the next season as possible in Laval. And then Beck, I don't know. I don't know. Beck could win a spot at camp. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that there's a lot of competition there in that area, I think, with players. So not that there isn't on defense, but anyway, that's my opinion. Any news of rumors, trades that Hughes is cooking up? No, I would have mentioned them here. I mean, you see rumors out there, but every rumor I see out there, it's either a fan coming up with that or it's just totally like unsubstantiated what the rumor is. The only one that might have legs and I can't really confirm if Montreal's in or not on this, and that's Patrick Laine. It had originally come out that there were teams interested. Then Don Waddell said, yeah, he's only had interest from one team. I just read something today from him saying that there are 2 or 3 teams that are actively interested right now in Laine. He doesn't know that there'll be a deal be able to be made, but Montreal might be one of those teams. I don't know. Other than that, I haven't heard anything credible trade-wise. We need to find 20 goals somewhere to make up for Monahan's production. Well, okay, here's where they're going to make it up. My opinion, where we're going to make it up, okay? And I pretty confident in this. Let me get my bearings here. So let's start with the first line. Caulfield had 28 last season. I got to figure there's another 7 goals in him, and we're looking at about 35, maybe more from him, right? So let's pencil him in this equation here for 7. Nick Suzuki may have a couple more than he got. So Nick Suzuki might be around the same thing or whatever. Say we'll give him 3 more and round that out to 10. Slav had 15, I think, last season. I think Slav could get 15 more. It wouldn't surprise me if Slav gets 30 goals. So I'm going to give him 15 more and say that's a possibility. And we're at 25. Newhook, you could probably pencil him in for a few more. Kirby Doc stays healthy. That's probably 20 right there. So we're looking at, I think you can probably find 50 more goals this year. Now, I could be enthusiastic there and whatever, but I mean, 20? Yeah, 20 goals they're going to find. Gislaine was thinking number 82, Lucas Candada, Brandon Gignac, Laurent Dauphin, Sean Farrell as what? To make the team out of camp? I'm gonna say this. If one of those 4 guys makes the team out of camp, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Except for maybe Sean Farrell, those other 3 guys should not be thought of to be in Montreal unless there's a lot of injuries, in my opinion there. Candada, Gignac, Dauphin, that's basically those are Laval Rocket players. Jack-Eye with Mayu is how it's actually pronounced, on third pairing is perfect. They did well in Laval. They did. Which might be a reason why. Okay, let's say if Montreal does manage to move Jordan Harris, which is a definite possibility, you got Jaden Struble, who has, Mayu does also. They have waiver exemption, right? I could definitely see them. If Mayu has a fantastic camp, yeah, Jack-Eye and Mayu have already shown chemistry together in Laval. So, yeah. Slav got 20. We got 20 last year, right? So, another 10 for sure there, right? Right? Slav got 20 and 30, right? Is that what it was? Anyways, I still found more than 20 goals. See, Justin says, Habs fan living in Edmonton. Nice, Justin. What do you think of a hypothetical trade of Oilers matching Holloway's offer sheet by St. Louis, then trading to Montreal for a defenseman, perhaps Barron? Just a hypothetical. Doesn't sound out of the question. I don't know if Holloway. I'll say I don't know enough about Holloway really to say that he'll fit that young prospect that just needs that chance. Like on a second line wing. I don't know, but if he does, then that could be a possibility. Yeah, that could happen. I'm not saying it would, but it could. Okay, wait. What was a 500,000 bonus? Slav was more than that, wasn't it? It was a $1.2 million bonus, something like that. It was a big bonus that Slav got by hitting 70 points. I don't think it was the 20 goals. I think it was the 70 points, or it was the 20 and 50 together. I'm not sure. If Doc stays healthy, that's basically another 20 goals, right? I agree with you. You agree with me? Yeah, I got to it first. Sean Farrell sims well in NHL 24, but that doesn't mean he's going to make the team. I mean, some of these guys who we looked at a couple of years ago as being, they could fall down the depth chart with some of the new draft picks and all that. And I think Sean Farrell's one of those guys. It's just like, I know about the offer sheets because I did two. I believe I did two or at least one short for the other channel on that. And they had a week. I don't know when that week is over, but it's soon. I'm going to say that week is over tomorrow because why? I did the promo on the other channel was for the pod on the Monday. So I think it was that. Awesome, baby. Good to see you out there. Awesome. Okay, tomorrow PM. Sounds good. Yeah, so I think they have to match or not any day now. I don't know exactly. Broberg for who? It's an offer sheet, dude. St. Louis offer sheet. You just put it up there? So what are you saying for who? I don't get you. Awesome, baby. I had a feeling it was something like that. So Giselle, I'm not sure what you're talking about now. They get Broberg. If you're asking what the compensation is, Broberg, it's a second round pick, and Holloway, it's a third round pick. That's compensation. So the thing is, Oilers have no money, none. I don't know what they're gonna do. So, if they don't match at all, I mean that screws their team. You gotta think. Tony, yeah, you got to think they've got to match, right? At least on one, but you got to think they've got to match on both those guys. My question kind of is Oilers went to the finals. Sure, they lost, but they went to the finals. Two guys from that team are that dissatisfied to sign offer sheets with another team? Like, I find that weird, unless they really don't like Stan Bowman coming in as the GM. And that might be something. We all know where Bowman came from and why he was suspended from the league. They may not like that and don't want to play for him. That's a big possibility. All right, well, I hit my hour, but I'm going to stay a little bit. When I'm done this, I'm going to go. So another 10 minutes or so, maybe 15. If the conversation is good, I've been known to go for 90 minutes. Once again, that's what she said last night. So, hey, not bragging or anything. We are bragging. Back in my day, Holloway played with Caulfield. That's right. Holloway played with Caulfield in Wisconsin. Yeah, you're right. And he was a Hobie Baker nominated player. Well, Montreal feels that there's, he might be that kid. They might make a deal like that. Holloway for Barron. And listen, Barron at $1.15 million, that's not a hard contract to take in, right? For any team, right? Holloway, it's a little more than double that is what Holloway is signed to with the offer sheet. 2.29, I think. Oh, actually, I can confirm that. I think I still have that here in front of me. Yep. Yeah, 2.29 million AAV for 2 years. Broberg was 4.58 million AAV for 2 years. If only I would have written down the date that I wrote. This is what my little blurb for the video I did. I didn't write down the date that I did it, so I don't remember what day it was. It's less than 7 days, though. Babe thinks Holloway will be matched, but Broberg may go. I mean, that's what I'm reading too. But, I mean, you got to think they'd want to match both anyway. I got to think you got to match those guys. How they do it, I don't know. Gislain says, sign Broberg, trade for Jordan Harris or Jaden Struble. You mean trade us, Broberg? No, I don't think Montreal is trading for a defenseman. Even if he's a young defenseman, I mean, why? We've got so many of those. That doesn't make sense. Kind of a slap in the face to Oilers. They might not have offered as much yet. They might think it's a slap in the face that the Oilers hired Stan Bowman, considering what Bowman did. It might be a stance on their part and saying, yeah, I don't really want to play for a guy like that. You believe they can't trade him even if they signed him for a year. If you've offer sheeted, the team that makes the offer sheet, if they get the player, they can't trade that player, I don't think, for the first year. Am I right about that? If Edmonton matches, can't trade for, is it the matching team or the team that makes the offer sheet that can't trade the player? Why would the team that matches have to not be able to trade the player so that they can't, like, as retaliation against the player for signing an offer sheet? Is that what you're saying? I mean, why match? Barron going nowhere will be Struble or Harris. I don't know that I totally agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying, but I do think that if they get an offer for Barron, I think one of the reasons they signed Barron to a really tradable contract, right? Kind of a prove me thing. But I mean, if you got to move him, I think you're kind of right that Harris is the guy they're looking to trade. Maybe Struble too. I don't know, but I don't know that it's necessarily true. I think if they have a choice of who they'd want to trade right now, I think it's Harris. No, Tony, JFed is saying that the team that matches can't trade. I'm saying the offer sheeting team can't trade for a year. Baby, we made a joke about Nurse going on LTIR in the podcast. Is that true? Because we made a joke about it. But that's what, like at Vegas with Mark Stone. That'd be funny if it's true and he's going on LTIR. Is Broberg better than Harris or Struble or Gooley or Arbor Jacki? No. Harris and Struble, maybe. I don't think Gooley or Jacki. Jacki for different reasons, maybe. Talent-wise, might be better. But he doesn't bring what Jacki brings. Montreal went through this with KK. If they matched, they couldn't trade. So it's the matching team that can't trade. I find that weird. I would think the offer sheeting team shouldn't be able to trade. Did you really? Somebody check this for me? You may be right. I would really love it if somebody would look that up for me. I just find that weird, right? I mean, if you're offer sheeting, right, then if you get that guy, you should not be allowed to trade him for that first year. But if you're the team that matches, why shouldn't you be able to trade him? Except for disciplinary, like you can't get revenge on the guy and trade. But then why match? Justin, yeah, I get that about Broberg. Hence the $4.5 million. I think Broberg's a talent, and he's been around a few years. He's probably defenseman could take a little longer to mature, and so. Baby says Nurse is supposed to go under the knife. I did not know that. We made a joke not knowing that. So if you saw the podcast, which not a lot of people did, unfortunately, it's on the other channel. We didn't know. I didn't anyway. I did not know that. Yeah, just if that is the case, and that's really the rules. If I'm the GM that just had my player offer sheeted away from me, I'm not happy. Right? So as far as Carolina and that feud where we didn't get Aho, they had no reason to be unhappy, except they were cheap and didn't want to pay him what we offered him. But besides that, didn't lose the player. I don't like offer sheets. Offer sheets just bad blood for no reason. I don't like offer sheets. Tony says Dawson Mercer is who he'd offer sheet for max salary for a second round pick. Yeah, but don't you think New Jersey would match that? You don't think? Like, I think if you're going to offer sheet Dawson Mercer and get away with it, you got to really overpay the kid. Hey, Elio, how's it going? When will Demidov play with the Canadians? Yeah, not this season. I imagine, though, there's a slight chance, and I don't know this. I kind of heard this or read it out there. In April for a couple of games, if that's when his season's done over there and his contract's over, they can sign him to an ELC and bring him over, I think. But I don't know 100% about that. Other than that, next preseason after this one. So, and from what I do understand, and this is at least before, so it doesn't affect what I just said, Demidov is saying he's not ready to come to Montreal right now. He wants to play out his contract and honor that, and he doesn't feel he's ready yet for here. So I don't know if immediately after that contract is played out, if he'll still feel ready to come right over, or he'll want to come over for the fall, the next fall. I don't know. Gislain, I do remember that, but if that is the case, then why were they so childish to have to get revenge on Montreal? Although you know what, in the end, the way KK's career is going, they probably did us a favor too, right? In the end, I think they did us a favor taking KK. That's how it's looking. Would KK have been better here? I don't know. You got to think probably under Marty St. Louis, but maybe not. I don't know. So I think they did us a favor. SKA will make playoffs, so he will have a full season. Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. If his team makes it. Right. With Michkov, when we talked about that, who was it we were talking about that? That team was not going to make the playoffs. So you're right. These two players, I think it was in college players, and their teams are, I don't remember. These two players, I believe, were 8th and 14th overall in their draft year. Now, a few years later, you get a 2nd and a 3rd rounder. That is horrible compensation. Justin, I think it is. You got a match. Problem is, can they? They don't have the money. How do you work it out? I haven't seen anything of them moving players around to make space. Could have missed it, but haven't seen that, so I don't know. Just I know it was the owner that was pissed, but so that's why I'm saying it was probably the owner didn't want to pay Aho 8.5, right? So where the GM was happy he didn't have to go through all the negotiations, the owner wasn't happy with the number. It was only for 5 years as well, so, and that could have been part of it if they had him for 3. If it was 8 years, we could have only signed him to 7. If it was 7 years, so I don't know. They have him longer guaranteed. I don't know. I call it SKA. SKA is predicted to not make playoffs. You read somewhere. Really? I thought they were a good team, actually. Anyways, that'll dictate whether it's possible he's here at the very end of this season, or it's just one season. I mean, it's not hard to wait for this kid. Edmonton has been reported trying to move Kulak and or Ceci. I could see Kulak being moved. I don't know who's going to want Ceci, and I think he's making 3.5 or something like that. That's a little much for Ceci. Well, it's just not if the owner. If that's the reason the owner was pissed off, well, I would have to ask: was he like 16 at the time? Like that's like what? Like how immature is that for this guy? You know what it was. That's an excuse, so he doesn't feel like he's cheap, because the real reason was probably that it was too much money. And probably Aho signed the offer sheet because he knew they were going to dick him around. And so he signed, got the money he wanted, and figured, well, they match or I go to Montreal. If you ask me, that's probably what happened. Well, how are we doing? Not too bad. People are falling off. People might have been joining just now, expecting that we're still talking about Carey Price, but we are not. Let's go over. I don't think there's much happening next week. There's like nothing happening as far as regular shows. I've got a Tuesday show, so I'll be back on Tuesday and Saturday next week. That's it. But that's the last week of our summer schedule. It was this week and next week, and then we're back with the Monday pod, the Wednesday pod, and shortly thereafter the games come back. So still not sure what I'm doing for those, but we'll make those arrangements coming up soon. I would hope. I'll figure that out. And I think that's it. Other great number 31 for the Habs? That's a good question. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any players who wore number 31 before Carey Price. Let's hear him, just before we go. Let's hear him. Or you were hoping I'd know. Brian Hayward wasn't a guy I was thinking. It was I thought a backup goalie. Which one? Maybe Brian Hayward. Mark Napier. Excuse me. I can't remember Napier's. Was Kordic 31 or 36? By the way, very easy. Just type in Mark Napier. What was Mark Napier's number? I mean, I could do that. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, am I a robot? Am I a robot if it gives me one of those stupid things? No. Yes, Mark Napier wore number 31. So there's one. Kordic wore. Well, I didn't ask who wore 36. So Kordic wore 31 and Napier wore 31. Yeah, because Kordic was here before Napier. Well, there you go. Any other numbers you want to know about? Not that I know all the numbers, but I'd be surprised sometimes that you remember a guy's number. Okay, that's going out. I'm not going to try to like that again. All right, so we're getting boring here now. All right, I'm going to take off. Yeah, so like I said, I'll be back on Tuesday. If something does pop up right now, I've got nothing as far as I have no idea what I'm doing for my next video. But if news pops up, I'll be doing shorts. I'll be looking for reasons to do these little short videos. I like these shorts. They're really easy to do and they're fun. So I'm going to be doing that. Look for those. Matt Outdoor, we did kind of talk about that a little bit before. You gather no one wore 69. No, not here in Montreal. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to take off. See you guys on Tuesday and maybe before in a video. I don't know. But definitely be back on Tuesday for Taco Tuesday. And that's it. Have a great night. It's still early. It's only 20 after 9 on a Saturday night. Please enjoy the night. And I will see you guys shortly, I guess, soonly. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Till next time, stay safe. Peace out. And that's it. Ciao, everybody. Almost forgot what I say.